Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. I'm in the, what's this place called again? The Hydro in Glasgow. It's an arena that we're going to play with the Darkness later in the year. And I'm on the road doing Justin Hawkins Rides Again. So, as I mentioned in my previous episode, what I love is covering bands that maybe are emerging artists, not the usual stuff that has all the backing and the privilege and the hedge fund managers financing everything. I'm sick to death of all that stuff. It's just not interesting to me. So as part of the on-the-road experience, I'm meeting emerging talents from the places that I'm actually playing in. So tomorrow in Glasgow, we've got Dead Pony. And then later, Jailer in Wolverhampton.
Hey, now the river's rising, but it's never seemed so clear. To watch the water flow around me, and all my troubles disappear.
And in Southend, Bad Nurse, my old mate Bobby, he's brilliant.
Give me a new boy from the TV, oh.
So I'm looking forward to all those things. But while I was in Chester, I covered the Royston Club. Lovely boys indeed. At the show, we reviewed their song Cariad.
I'm not a godly man, but every time we fucked, I'd shout out, oh God, enough, to send up my own little prayer.
And that's, I think it's a Welsh word that means love or pet, you know, like, on you go, Cariad, you're all right, pet, you know, that kind of stuff. I think it's a lovely piece of word.
Loved you through and through. I used to spend whole evenings watching the movements of your mouth.
I love the word and I love the song as well. It's a beautiful song about memories and missing somebody, and it was genuinely moving, and they were lovely people.
Trapped inside for another night. These junky fingers scroll me back to another life. My eyes burn holes through pictures of you and I. Carry out, I miss you all the time. Excited it's over. I let the air burn out.
But before I left for the tour, I covered another Royston Club song called Shivers, and this here is the review of that song. Please to enjoy.
Doing there is harmonics. If you place your finger over the metal of the 12th fret, not the middle bit where you'd normally do that if you're voicing a note. You can't see my fingers very well, but so let me show you this. So the first one is my headphones in the way. Bloody headphones. Or cans as we call them in the music trade. The bloody cans, especially the cable that leads to the cans. Always so troublesome. Right, so the first one is like kind of hitting a harmonic across the 12th fret. Then I think it's the 7th and the 5th. You don't actually fret the note and voice it in the normal way. You just sort of... it's pretty... I think in terms of physics, it's rather interesting how that works, because the length of... basically the 12th fret is exactly the middle part between the nut and the bridge, which is the two parts of the string. So if you're hitting an open string at the 12th and then not actually fretting it, what happens is that the sound wave that's doing that, you half it, and then it does the same, it's the same note but an octave up because it's travelling at twice the speed. It's just physics and maths, but it's a really interesting sort of way to approach your guitar. If you just hit those so I suppose the thing about the 12th is it's halfway up, so that makes it undulate twice the speed. Then the 7th is about a third of the way up, so it's kind of like what would the maths be on that? I don't know. And then that's probably about, the fifth is probably about a quarter. So that means that it's travelling at 4 I don't know. It's to do with fractions and maths, boring stuff, but it's part of my life. So. A to F. Listen to the naked vocal. It's absolutely great. Time slips away. It's got like so much variety already in that first. His opening gambit shows like a really good control of his vibrato. It shows that they're not using any pitch correction, which is the opposite, I think, of what you might hear, for example, on a Youngblood record. You might hear, really sort of hard snapped to whatever the auto-tune device is calibrated to, with no kind of humanity or movement. But what's really beautiful about the singing voice of any individual, I think, is the stuff that happens in between, the things where you're sharp or flat or where you glide between the notes, and you can't do that with auto-tune. But this is absolutely unfiltered, I think. Like in the way that, if you buy, if you were to go and buy like some unfiltered cloudy apple juice or, some sort of apple cider vinegar, you want the unfiltered stuff. That's what this is. This is like pure. It's lovely.
Your honey birds leave craters in the day.
That's a well used voice, it's worn in,
As you blink, the night sun follows, chasing you tender tomorrow. Oh, such a kiss, lips like this.
Got a hint of a falsetto in there as well, which has got a lot of tools in his box that he's just giving us a little glimpse of there, really. I'm going to talk about some of these lyrics. Time slips away, your honeyed words leave craters in the day. Oh, time's drifting away, you blink, the night time follows, chasing your tender tomorrow. That's poetry, that is.
Touch me like a rosary and rip off my jeans. Love and let's make history.
Yeah, so this is kind of sensual music, a sensual piece of prose, but it's really like set against probably like the least, what I would describe as probably the least sexy type of music, really. It's kind of indie, and that isn't a criticism, by the way. I don't necessarily think music should be sexy. There's a line in here where he goes, heroin, heroin, where have you been? I'm still catching up on all that wasted oxygen. Heroin, heroin, let me in. I can show you rivers where the water's never still. It's always suggestive when you use that word, isn't it?
Heroin, heroin, where have you been? I'm still catching up on all that wasted oxygen. Heroin,
It's got something of the Wren kind of timbre in his voice in certain parts of this song. I don't know whether that's a Welsh thing or a direct influence thing, or it could just be a complete coincidence. I don't know, but it's sort of given me a little hint of that, I think.
I'm still catching up on all that wasted oxygen.
I really love the visuals on this. I think this is an iconic band, even in terms of just the way they look.
I can show you rivers where the waters never steer.
But for such an exposed vocal and the balls to sing those lines, it's this is a proper front person, I think.
Want you back from Merchant's Corner, rushing over Big Brick Mall to fucking through the city like a stream. Gentle beauty in plate armor, watch you peel the steel from round your back, revealing beauty as yet unseen. I was falling, falling as you giggled through the den. Burn me
I really enjoy that. There's a counter melody going over the top of the main vocal over there. I always think those are difficult things to build, because when one treads on the other, and you know, not everybody gets it right. I've seen it fail even in like big budget productions when you've got all the money in the world. It doesn't always work, you know, but this does.
touch me like a rosary. You scar my dreams. Lover, let's make history. We'll melt in glitter, stick a weeds, and it's no longer you and me, just bodies spinning breathlessly.
So, I mean, this isn't the heaviest band I've ever heard, but it's so intense when it gets to these bits and everyone's thrashing away at it. I always think that actually, to me, just because I know what it takes to hit like an offset guitar or something with a slightly suspicious bridge at the bottom of it, when you hit them hard like that and it rattles in this way, you're really going for it. You're probably going to end up with a bloody hound. And you can hear that in this. You don't ever hear it on metal. Metal is so precise. Like if you take all the effects off and the saturation and the amps, all you're going to hear is this. You know what I mean? It's just that. But this is like, that's the difference. And they got two singers. That's how it works. Okay, so the two sort of counter melodies are sung by two different individuals. I didn't realise that. That probably explains. I mean, because if you do that in the studio and you're the one singer doing it, it's probably a good idea to change microphones, because then the timbre will change slightly. If you've got two different singers, it's even better, isn't it? It's kind of got a bit of Smithsy stuff about that as well. It's sort of giving me Big Mouth Strikes Again vibes. All right, so that's the Royston Club. Great poetry, really charismatic front person. Front person, and then additional vocals by the guitar player as well. It's really good stuff. Obviously, this is a band that's on that sort of trajectory, and they seem to be doing it by playing authentic music without the, without any sort of, how can I put this? Auto-tune. It's a proper recording, real human voices, sung really well, with a lot of variety in the way they're delivering it. Great poetry, as I mentioned before. Really great band. So that's the Royston Club, guys. Let me know what you think in the description. I'll do the theme tune and I'll bid you adieu. Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Adieu. I'll see you on the road.
Again.